shouting had stopped. Mr. Niggard, the head bloke, came out and calmed my father down. He said he would arrange a temporary overdraft. My father looked dead pathetic. He kept saying, "It was that bloody vet's bill." Mr. Niggard looked as if he understood. Perhaps he has got a mad dog as well. We can't be the only ones, can we? The £11, etc. came by second post, so I'm going to Sheffield tomorrow morning. I've never been on a train on my own before. I'm certainly stretching my wings lately.
When did my prescription go in?
Wednesday, April the 22nd.
When did I pick mine up?
My father gave me a lift to the station.
Do you want to check if it's
He
in?
also gave me a bit of advice about the journey.
It won't be in.
He said I was not to buy a pork pie from the buffet car.
I'm very certain I put it in
with my head out of
Thursday.
the window, and my father stood on the platform. He kept looking at his watch. I couldn't think of anything to say, and neither could he. In the end, I said, "Don't forget to feed the dog, will you?" My father gave a nasty laugh. Then the train started to move, so I waved and went to look for a non-smoking seat. All the filthy smokers were crammed together, choking and coughing. They were a rough-looking, noisy lot, so I hurried through their small carriage holding my breath. The non-smoking carriages seemed to have a quieter type of person in them. I found a window seat opposite an old lady. I wanted to look at the landscape or read my book, but the old bat started on it.
It's funny you should say that. The smoking carriage seemed to be full of nasty-looking people and all that crap. And how it's the non-smoker side that was quiet. I found it to be the complete opposite.
Yes. It's a satire, is it? This is not real.
The old bat
This is literally a 14-year-old boy's thoughts who seems to think he's something of an intellectual because it's in at the time.
The old bat started on about her daughter's hysterectomy and telling me things I didn't want to hear. She just about sent me barley. It was nag, nag, nag. But thank God she got up at Chesterfield. She left her woman's own behind, so I had a good laugh at the problem page, read the story, and then the train slowed down for Sheffield. My mother started crying when she saw me. It was a bit embarrassing, but quite nice at the same time. We got a taxi from the station. Sheffield looks okay, just like home really. I didn't see any knife and fork factories. I expect Margaret Thatcher has closed them all down. Lucas was out flogging insurance, so I had my mother all to myself until 8 o'clock. The flat is dead grotty. It is modern, but small. You can hear the neighbours coughing. My mother is used to better things. I am dead tired, so we'll stop. I hope my father is being kind to the dog. I wish my mother would come home. I've forgotten how nice she is. Thursday, April 23rd, St. George's Day. Me and Mum went shopping today. We bought a Habitat lampshade for her bedroom and a new pair of trousers for me. They are dead good, really tight. We had a Chinese businessman's lunch, then went to see a Monty Python film all about the life of Jesus. It was dead daring. I felt guilty laughing. Lucas was at the flat when we got back. He had got the dinner ready, but I said I wasn't hungry and I went to my room. It would choke me to eat anything that creep had touched. Later on I phoned my father from a call box. I just had time to shout, "Don't forget to feed the dog," before the pips went. Retired to bed early because of all the slopping Lucas was doing. He called my mother Paulie, and he knows very well that her name is Pauline. Friday, April 24th. Helped my mother to paint her kitchen. She is doing it brown and cream. It looks awful, just like the toilets at school. Lucas bought me a penknife. He is trying to bribe me into liking him again. Hard luck, Lucas. Us moles never forget. We are just like the mafia. Once you cross us, we bear a grudge all our lives. He has stolen a wife and mother, so he will have to pay the price. It is a shame because the penknife is full of gadgets that will be useful to me in my everyday life. Saturday, April the 25th. Lucas doesn't work on Saturdays, so I had to put up with his lechery all day. He is constantly touching my mother's hand, or kissing her, or putting his arm round her shoulders. I don't know how she stands it. It would drive me mad. Lucas afternoon. It was hilly and high up. I got cold, so I sat in the car and watched my mother and Lucas making an exhibition of themselves. Thank God no members of the public were around. It's not a pretty sight to see old people
really
running up
does
hills
stuff
laughing.
Mhm.
Came back, had a bath, thought about the dog, went to sleep. Home tomorrow. 3 a.m. Just had a dream about stabbing Lucas with the toothpick on my penknife. Best dream I've had for ages. Sunday, April the 26th, 2:10 p.m. So my little sojourn in Sheffield is drawing to a close. I'm catching the 7:10 p.m. train, which only leaves 5 hours to do my packing. My father was right. I didn't need 2 suitcases of clothes. Still, it is better to be safe than sorry, I always say. I shan't be sorry to leave this sordid flat with the coughing neighbours, though naturally I have some regrets about my mother's stubbornness in refusing to come home with me. I told her that the dog was pining to death for her, but she rang my father up, and like a fool he told her that the dog had just eaten a whole tin of pedigree chum and a bowl of Winalot. I told her about my father and Doreen Slater, hoping to send her mad with jealousy, but she just laughed and said, "Oh, is Doreen still making the rounds?" I have done my best to get her back, but must admit defeat. 11 p.m. Journey back a nightmare. Non-smoking compartments all full. Forced to share carriage with pipes, cigars and cigarettes. Queued for 20 minutes for a cup of coffee in the buffet. Just got to the counter when the grill came down and the man put up a sign saying, "Closed due to signal failure." Got back to seats, found a soldier in my place. Found another seat, and had to endure maniac sitting opposite telling me he had a radio inside his head controlled by Fidel Castro. My father met me at the station. The dog jumped up to meet me, missed, and nearly fell in front of the 9:23 p.m. Birmingham Express. My father said he had had Doreen Slater for tea. By the state of the house, I should think he'd had her for breakfast, dinner and tea. I have never seen the woman, but from the evidence she left behind, I know she has got bright red hair, wears orange lipstick, and sleeps on the left side of the bed. What a homecoming. My father said Doreen had ironed my school clothes ready for the morning. What did he expect?
Good boys and girls always get priority.
Monday, April the 27th. Mrs. Bull taught us to wash up in domestic science. Talk about teaching your grandmother to suck eggs. I must be one of the best washer-uppers in the world. Barry Kent broke an unbreakable plate, so Mrs. Bull sent him out of the room. I saw him smoking quite openly in the corridor. He's certainly got a nerve. I felt duty to report him to Mrs. Bull. I did this purely out of concern for Barry Kent's health. He was taken to Popeye Scruton, and his Benson and Hedges were confiscated. Nigel said he saw Mr. Scruton smoking them in the staff room at dinner time, but surely this can't be true. Pandora and Craig Thomas are creating a scandal by flaunting their sexuality in the playground. Miss Elf had to knock on the staff room window and ask them to stop kissing. Tuesday, April the 28th. Mr. Scruton made a speech in Assembly this morning. It was about the country's lack of morals, but really he was talking about Pandora and Craig Thomas. The speech didn't do any good, because while we were singing "There is a green hill far away," I distinctly saw glances of a passionate nature pass between them. Wednesday, April the 29th. My father is worried. Electric storage heaters are not selling well. My father says this proves that consumers are not as stupid as everyone thinks.
Left or right?
I'm fed up with him mooning about the house at night.
I don't
I
care
have
if that's
advised him to
maybe.
join a club or get a hobby,
Come
but
on.
he is determined to
care.
feel sorry for himself. The only time he laughs is when those advertisements for electric storage heaters are shown on television. Then he laughs himself silly. Thursday, April the 30th. I was seriously menaced at school today. Barry Kent threw my Snaplock executive briefcase onto the rugby pitch. I have got to find £2 quickly before he starts throwing me onto the rugby pitch. No good asking my father for money. He is in despair because of all the red bills. Friday, May the 1st. Grandma rang early this morning to say, "Cast ne'er a clout till May be out." I haven't got the faintest idea what she was going on about. All I know is that it has something to do with vest.